My name is Sarah. I am 25 years old. People stare at me when I walk with my husband. They whisper behind our backs. They judge us without knowing our story. My husband is 68 years old. His hair is silver. His hands are wrinkled. His steps are slower than mine, but his eyes still shine when he looks at me. I know what you're thinking. You want to know why. Why would a young woman marry an old man? Is it for money? Is it for security? Is it because I have daddy issues? The truth is more complicated than that. Love doesn't follow rules. It doesn't care about age or what society thinks is right. My story isn't what you expect. It's messy and real and sometimes painful. I want to tell you everything. I want you to understand. Maybe then the stares won't hurt so much. Maybe then I won't feel so alone. It started 3 years ago. I was working at a small bookstore downtown. The pay was terrible. I could barely afford my tiny apartment, but I loved being surrounded by books. They were my escape from reality. That's where I met him. His name is Robert. He came in every Tuesday at exactly 2 o'clock. He always bought the same thing, a cup of coffee and a classic novel. He was polite but quiet. He never bothered anyone. At first, I didn't notice him much. He was just another customer. But then I started looking forward to Tuesdays. There was something calming about his presence. He never rushed. He never complained. He just existed peacefully in our chaotic world. One Tuesday, he was late. I found myself watching the door. When 3 o'clock came and went, I felt worried. I didn't even know his name then, but somehow I cared. He came the next week with his arm in a cast. He looked tired and older somehow. Without thinking, I asked if he was okay. He smiled, the first real smile I'd ever seen from him. "I fell down my stairs," he said. "Silly old man, right?" I didn't laugh. I felt sad for him. "Are you alone?" I asked. He nodded. "My wife passed 5 years ago. My children live far away." That's when something changed inside me. I saw him differently, not as an old customer, but as a lonely human being, someone who needed kindness. I started talking to Robert more each week. He told me about his life. He had been a high school English teacher for 40 years. He loved literature just like me. His wife had been his college sweetheart. They never had a perfect marriage, but they loved each other deeply. "She used to say I lived too much in books," he told me once. Maybe she was right. I disagreed. "Books are how we understand life," I said. "They teach us about love and pain and hope." He looked at me with surprise. "You're very wise for someone so young." But I didn't feel wise. I felt lost. My own life was falling apart. My boyfriend of 3 years had just broken up with me. He said I was too serious, too boring. He wanted someone who partied more, someone who didn't spend all her free time reading. "You act like an old lady," he had said. Those words hurt more than I expected. My friends didn't understand me either. They were all focused on careers and dating and social media. I felt like I was living in the wrong generation, like I didn't belong anywhere. Robert became my safe space. Our conversations were deeper than anything I had with people my own age. He listened to my thoughts about books without judging. He shared his own insights about life and loss. But I could see people noticing. My coworkers started making comments. "Your boyfriend sure is old," Jessica said one day. "He's not my boyfriend," I snapped. "He's just a customer." But even as I said it, I knew something was changing. I looked forward to seeing Robert more than anything else in my week. When he missed a Tuesday because of doctor's appointments, I felt genuinely sad. My mother called that weekend. She always worried about me. "Are you dating anyone?" she asked. "No, Mom. I'm fine alone." "You can't be alone forever, honey. You need to put yourself out there. Meet some nice boys your age." Boys my age. The phrase made me cringe. I had dated boys my age. They were immature and selfish. They didn't understand me. They didn't value the same things I did. Robert understood me. He valued literature and deep conversations. He had lived through real experiences, loss and grief and decades of marriage. He had wisdom that only comes with time. But I also knew it was crazy. I was attracted to a man old enough to be my grandfather. What was wrong with me? The turning point came on a rainy Tuesday in November. Robert looked different when he walked in. Sadder somehow. He ordered his usual coffee but didn't pick up a book. He just sat at his corner table staring out the window. I couldn't focus on work. Something was wrong. During my break, I sat down across from him. "What's happening?" I asked gently. He looked at me with tears in his eyes. Today would have been my 50th wedding anniversary. My heart broke for him. I reached across the table and took his hand. His skin was soft and warm. He squeezed my fingers gratefully. "Tell me about her," I said. For the next hour, Robert told me about Margaret. How they met in college literature class. How nervous he was to ask her out. Their small wedding during his first year teaching. The struggles of early marriage. The joy when their children were born. The quiet contentment of growing old together. "I miss having someone to share things with," he said. "The little things. Morning coffee. Evening news. A good book." I understood that feeling completely. I had felt alone my entire adult life, even when I was dating. "I know it sounds pathetic," he continued, "but talking with you these past months, it's been the highlight of my weeks." "It doesn't sound pathetic," I whispered. "It's been the highlight of mine too." We looked at each other across the table. Something electric passed between us. Something I had never felt before. It wasn't the desperate attraction I'd experienced with boys my age. It was deeper, calmer, more real. But reality crashed down quickly. What was I thinking? This was impossible. He was old enough to be my grandfather. People would never understand. My family would be horrified. Society would judge us harshly. I pulled my hand away and stood up quickly. I should get back to work. Robert looked confused and hurt. Did I say something wrong? "No," I said, not meeting his eyes. "Everything's fine." But everything wasn't fine. I spent the rest of my shift feeling confused and ashamed. Was I attracted to Robert? Was that even possible? What kind of person was I? That night, I called my best friend Emma. She had always been a good listener. "I think I have feelings for someone inappropriate," I said. "Married?" she asked. "No. But complicated." "How complicated?" I took a deep breath. "He's much older than me." "How much older?" "Like 30. 43 years older." The silence on the other end was deafening. "Sarah," Emma said finally, "please tell me you're joking." "I'm not joking. And I don't know what to do." "You walk away. That's what you do. This is crazy. He's old enough to be your grandfather. What do you even have in common?" "More than I've had with anyone else," I said quietly. "This is a phase," Emma said firmly. "You're lonely after your breakup. You're confusing kindness with attraction. Trust me, this will pass." But I knew it wouldn't pass. What I felt for Robert was real. It was growing stronger every day, and I had no idea what to do about it. The next Tuesday, I tried to act normal, but Robert could tell something had changed. He was more distant, more careful. The easy warmth between us was gone. "I'm sorry if I made you uncomfortable," he said as he was leaving. "You didn't," I said quickly. This is complicated." He nodded sadly. "I understand. I'm an old man who should know better." After he left, I felt terrible. I had hurt him. This kind, gentle man who had never done anything wrong, who had just been honest about missing companionship. That weekend, I couldn't stop thinking about him, about our conversations, about the way he looked at books like they were treasures, about how he remembered small details from our talks, about how safe I felt when I was with him. I realized something important. For the first time in my life, I had met someone who truly understood me. Someone whose mind worked like mine. Someone who valued the same things. Someone who made me feel less alone in the world. Age was just a number, wasn't it? I made a decision that would change everything. The next Tuesday, I asked my coworker to cover for me during Robert's usual visit. I needed to see him outside the bookstore, somewhere we could talk freely. I found his address in the phone book. Yes, he still used a landline and was listed. That made me smile. I drove to his house after work, my heart pounding the entire time. His house was small but well-maintained. There were flower boxes in the windows, a neat garden in front. It looked lonely somehow. I knocked on the door before I could lose my nerve. When Robert opened it, his face went through several emotions: surprise, pleasure, concern. "Sarah, is everything okay? Can I come in?" I asked. "We need to talk." He stepped aside and let me enter. His living room was exactly what I expected. Bookshelves everywhere, comfortable old furniture, pictures of his late wife on the mantel. "Would you like some tea?" he offered. I shook my head. "Robert, I need to tell you something." He sat down across from me, looking worried. "I've been thinking about what you said last week," I began. "About missing companionship. About being lonely." He started to speak, but I held up my hand. "I'm lonely too," I continued. "I've been lonely my whole adult life. Even when I was with my ex-boyfriend. Even when I'm surrounded by friends. I feel like I don't fit anywhere." Robert listened intently. "But when I'm with you," I said, my voice shaking slightly, "I don't feel lonely. I feel understood. I feel like myself." "Sarah," he said gently, "I'm an old man. You have your whole life ahead of you. You shouldn't waste it on someone like me." "What if I don't see it as wasting it?" I asked. "What if I see it as finally finding what I've been looking for?" The room was quiet except for the ticking of an old clock on the wall. "Are you saying what I think you're saying?" Robert asked carefully. I took a deep breath. "I'm saying I have feelings for you. Real feelings. And I think you might have feelings for me too." Robert closed his eyes and leaned back in his chair. "This is impossible, Sarah. People will never understand. Your family will hate me. You'll be judged for the rest of your life." "Maybe," I said, "but I'd rather be judged for being with someone who truly understands me than be lonely with someone society approves of." "I could die tomorrow," he said bluntly. "I could get sick. I could become a burden. You could spend years taking care of an invalid." "And you could get hit by a bus," I replied. "Anyone could. Life doesn't come with guarantees." Robert opened his eyes and looked at me. Really looked at me. "Why?" he asked. Why me? I had asked myself that question hundreds of times. Because you see me, I said simply. Because when I talk to you, I feel heard. Because you make me want to be a better person. Because being with you feels like coming home. Tears started flowing down my face. All the emotion I'd been holding back came pouring out. I know it's crazy, I sobbed. I know everyone will think I'm gold digging or have daddy issues or am mentally ill. But I don't care anymore. I care about you. I love talking with you. I love who I am when I'm with you. Robert got up and sat beside me on the couch. He handed me tissues and waited while I composed myself. I care about you too, he said quietly. More than I should. More than is appropriate. You've brought light back into my life in a way I never expected. Then why can't we try? I asked. Why can't we see where this goes? Because I don't want to hurt you, he said. Because I don't want to ruin your life. My life is already ruined, I said. I'm 25 years old and I feel ancient. I don't relate to people my age. I don't want the things they want. I don't fit anywhere. You fit with me, Robert said softly. Then let me stay, I whispered. Robert and I started dating secretly. It sounds strange to say that about a 65-year-old man and 25-year-old woman, but that's what we did. We had dinner at his house. We went to movies in the next town over. We took long walks in quiet parks. For 6 months, we hid our relationship from everyone. It was the happiest 6 months of my life. Robert was everything I had hoped for and more. He was kind and patient and wise. He listened to me with genuine interest. He challenged my ideas without dismissing them. He made me laugh. He made me think. But hiding was exhausting. We couldn't go to restaurants in our town. I couldn't bring him to work events. I couldn't tell my friends or family about the man who made me so happy. This isn't fair to you, Robert said one evening. You shouldn't have to sneak around like you're doing something wrong. I'm not doing anything wrong, I insisted. We're not hurting anyone. Aren't we hurting ourselves? He asked. He was right. The secrecy was taking a toll on both of us. We decided to stop hiding. We would face whatever consequences came. I told Emma first. She cried. Actually cried. How can you do this to yourself? She asked. What kind of future can you have with him? A happy one, I said. Isn't that what matters? But Sarah, he's going to get old and sick. You'll be widowed before you're 40. You'll never have children with him. You'll miss out on everything normal people have. Normal is overrated, I told her. I'd rather have 5 happy years with Robert than 50 miserable years with someone else. My parents were worse. Much worse. My mother screamed. My father threatened to disown me. They called Robert horrible names. They accused him of taking advantage of me. He's a predator, my mother sobbed. Can't you see that? He's manipulated you somehow. No one has manipulated me, I said firmly. I made this choice with my eyes wide open. You're throwing your life away, my father said. For what? An old man who'll be dead in 10 years. Their words hurt, but I didn't waver. I knew what I felt. I knew what Robert and I had together was real and valuable and worth fighting for. Robert's adult children were equally horrified. His son accused me of being a gold digger. His daughter said I was mentally unstable. They threatened to cut him out of their lives if he stayed with me. Maybe they're right, Robert said after a particularly brutal phone call with his daughter. Maybe I am being selfish. Love isn't selfish, I told him. Denying love is what's selfish. We decided to get married. Not because we had to, but because we wanted to make a commitment to each other. We wanted to show the world that what we had was real and permanent. The wedding was small. Just us, the justice of the peace, and 2 witnesses we hired. My family refused to come. Robert's children boycotted it too. But I had never been happier. People ask me all the time if I regret my decision. They want to know if the criticism bothers me. They wonder if I'm truly happy or just pretending to be. The truth is complicated, like most things in life. Yes, the judgment hurts sometimes. When strangers stare at us in restaurants, when cashiers give us dirty looks, when people assume I'm Robert's granddaughter and then realize we're married and their faces change to disgust or pity. Those moments sting. They make me question myself for just a second before I remember why I made this choice. But the happiness outweighs the pain by so much that it's not even a contest. Every morning I wake up next to someone who knows me completely. Someone who has seen all my flaws and loves me anyway. Someone who challenges me to be better while accepting exactly who I am right now. We read books together and discuss them for hours. We cook dinner while talking about philosophy and literature. We take long walks and point out interesting architecture or beautiful gardens. We have the kind of conversations I dreamed of having my whole life but never found with anyone my age. Robert has lived through things that give him perspective I can't get anywhere else. He survived the death of his parents, the challenges of raising children, the heartbreak of watching his first wife slowly die of cancer. He has wisdom that comes only from experience, and he shares it with gentleness and humor. When I'm having a bad day at work, he knows exactly what to say. When I'm doubting myself, he reminds me of my strengths. When I'm excited about something, he celebrates with me completely. This is what partnership is supposed to feel like, and I had never experienced it before. My friends my age are still playing games with their boyfriends. They're still wondering if their relationships will last, still fighting about stupid things, still trying to change each other. I have stability and certainty and deep, abiding love. Yes, Robert is older. Yes, he will probably die before me. Yes, we face challenges that other couples don't. But every couple faces challenges. At least ours come from something beautiful instead of something toxic. I would rather have 20 years of true happiness than 60 years of settling for less. I would rather be judged for following my heart than praised for following society's rules. I would rather be the young widow of a man I adored than the bitter wife of a man who never understood me. People think I'm naive or damaged or seeking a father figure, but they're wrong. I'm not looking for a parent or a sugar daddy or someone to take care of me. I'm looking for an equal partner, and that's what I found. Age doesn't determine compatibility. Shared values do. Common interests do. Mutual respect does. Robert and I have all of those things in abundance. We make each other better people. We support each other's dreams. We laugh together every single day. If that's not love, I don't know what is. The criticism from our families has softened over time, though it hasn't disappeared completely. My mother still asks when I'm going to come to my senses and leave Robert. His children still treat me coldly at family gatherings. But some people have come around. My grandmother, surprisingly, was one of the first to accept our relationship. She said love was too rare to waste worrying about what other people thought. A few friends have seen how happy I am and decided to support us. Robert's youngest brother has welcomed me into the family with open arms. These small victories mean everything to us. They remind us that not everyone is close-minded. Not everyone judges based on appearances. Some people can see past the surface to the real connection underneath. We've learned to build our own family from the people who accept us. We have dinner parties with my grandmother and Robert's brother. We go on double dates with the few couples who don't mind our unusual pairing. We've created a community of love and acceptance around ourselves. It's smaller than we might have hoped, but it's real and supportive and enough. I won't pretend our marriage is perfect. No marriage is. Robert sometimes worries about holding me back from experiences people my age are having. I sometimes worry about becoming a caregiver too young if his health fails. We both struggle with the loneliness that comes from being misunderstood by so many people. But these challenges don't diminish what we have. They just make us more grateful for it. When Robert takes my hand while we're walking down the street, ignoring the stares and whispers, I feel proud to be his wife. When he introduces me to his old teaching colleagues and they see how we interact, their skepticism usually melts away. When we're at home together, reading in comfortable silence or discussing the day's events, I know I made the right choice. This is what love looks like when you strip away society's expectations. This is what partnership feels like when it's based on genuine compatibility instead of convenience. This is what happiness looks like when you're brave enough to choose it over approval. 3 years later, I can say without hesitation that marrying Robert was the best decision of my life. Not because it was easy, but because it was right. Not because everyone supported us, but because we supported each other. We've faced challenges I never expected. Robert had a minor heart attack last year that scared us both. I've dealt with depression from the social isolation our relationship sometimes creates. We've had to learn to communicate across generational differences. But we've faced everything together. My marriage taught me that love doesn't follow societal rules. It doesn't care about age gaps or what looks normal from the outside. Love is about connection. It's about finding someone who sees your soul and chooses to stay. I'm not the same person I was 3 years ago. I'm more confident, more sure of myself. I've learned to trust my own judgment instead of seeking approval from others. I've discovered what it means to be truly partnered with another person. Robert isn't the same either. He's more adventurous now. He travels with me to places he never thought he'd see. He's learned to use technology so we can video chat when I'm visiting my grandmother in another state. He's found joy again after years of loneliness. We don't know what the future holds. None of us do. But we face it together, with love and commitment and the knowledge that what we have is precious and rare. Sometimes people ask if I would make the same choice again, knowing everything I know now. Knowing about the judgment and the family conflicts and the unique challenges we face. The answer is yes. 1,000 times yes. Because love like this doesn't come along often. When you find it, you hold on to it. No matter what anyone else thinks. No matter how unconventional it looks. No matter how much courage it takes to defend it. I married an old man because he was the right man for me. Not despite his age, but regardless of it. I chose love over convention, understanding over approval, happiness over what was expected. And I would choose it again every single day. If you've ever felt like me, like you don't fit in with people your age, like you're searching for something deeper than what society offers, like you found love in an unexpected place, you're not alone. Love comes in many forms. It doesn't always look like the movies or fairy tales. Sometimes it's messy and complicated and requires more courage than you think you have. But it's always worth it. Don't let other people's opinions keep you from your happiness. Don't let fear of judgment stop you from following your heart. Don't apologize for loving someone who makes you a better person, no matter what the circumstances. Life is short. Love is rare. When you find both together, hold on tight. You deserve to be understood. You deserve to be loved completely. You deserve to wake up every day next to someone who sees your worth. Age is just a number. Love is everything. Trust yourself. Trust your heart. Trust that you know what's best for your own life. And remember, you're not alone in feeling different. You're not alone in wanting something deeper. You're not alone in choosing love over convention. There are others like us out there. Others who believe that connection matters more than appearances. Others who have found happiness in unexpected places. We're building our own community of acceptance and understanding. You're welcome here. Your story matters. Your love matters. You matter. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.